Hey guys, what's going on? Kulprit here, and how the heck are you? Today I want to take a little, veer off course on my road to Battlefield 4 a little bit. I'm still keeping an eye towards Battlefield 4, but I want to do just kind of one of my old school kind of commentaries and talk about, some of the way I strive to improve. But first, let me introduce the video. This is obviously TDM. I know, I've been playing a buttload of TDM. It's just what I do, and I'll get into that actually a little later, why I do favor TDM so much. But I was with some of the guys, you see Ram here, I think a bunch of other guys join on later. This was one of the first rounds of the night I was playing. I wasn't even in TeamSpeak yet with the guys, because I always kind of don't go in TeamSpeak first couple of matches, because I want to make sure my son and everything in the house is settled in, so I can hear them if they fuss, if they cry, and then I get into TeamSpeak later. So this is actually me playing no comms, but with some of the guys. TDM, Wake Island, which I don't really like Wake Island typically in any game mode, but TDM actually fit the bill for what I wanted to do tonight, and you can see I'm mixing it up a little bit with the L85. There's a little bit of a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So you're a player looking to improve, right? And you guys know my adventure in YouTube has been all about that. I don't claim to teach you how to play any better. I'm not level cap, rival X Factor. I'm certainly not a player like Jack Frags or any of those types of guys. But, I did this channel to kind of bring you guys along as I tried to grow as a PC player particularly, but as a gamer and FPS gamer certainly overall, Battlefield 3 guy and now Battlefield 4 specifically. You guys can go all the way back to seeing when my first matches on PC and where I've improved. And I like to share with you guys some of the things and some of the philosophies are kind of my strength, I would say, but also mechanically and things like that, where things I learned, things I focus on. You guys will recall a while back, if you watch some of my earliest videos, I never hip fired. And it was just dumb because I like to rush, I like to move, I like to be applying pressure. So for me to be running into buildings, trying to clear buildings and never hip firing, you guys know it just doesn't work. And it didn't work. So I finally had to sit down at one point, reapply myself to learning how to hip fire. I've done that. I probably hip fire 50% of the time now. It's a great tool in my arsenal, and it's really improved my play. And I do this from time to time. As most of you know, I've had pretty long layoff for Battlefield 3. I've just gotten back. I'm playing with the guys every weekend now as much as I can. I'm sneaking some hours in. I got the bug. I always like to improve. I like to work at things. And so I've been trying to drive myself. I like to take advantage of situations like that. When you get a layoff from a game and you come back, it really helps you to identify, what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. If you really want to improve, what's the single most important thing you can do? And that's identify your weaknesses, because if you're weak in an area, that's where you can see the most gains in your gameplay and your ability, I should say. If you're good at one thing and you focus on continuing to, if you're great at it and you push to get excellent or whatever scale you want to use, you're going to see a gain, but not as much as if you're really bad at something and you become okay or good at it. So for me, it's very clearly my accuracy. If I have one thing that I think is really holding my game back to going to that mythical other level, that next level, which still wouldn't be up to those names I named earlier, but from me taking that next step, jumping that next rank, if you will, is my accuracy. It's never been a strength of mine in any game. Maybe it's because I'm an older gamer. I don't know. Certainly, it goes back to when I started PC. I'm left-handed. My dominant hand is my left hand. I had always PC gamed in my earlier days, but then when I took a layoff, it was always frustrating getting a left-handed mouse. I've spoken at length of this, but to you guys that haven't heard it before, it's always hard to get a very good left-handed mouse. So when I started this PC up a year and a half ago or something like that, I said, that's it. I'm going to teach myself to play with my right hand, and that's it. And I think some of that has to do with that. I don't have the fine motor skills in my right hand like I would with my left, but I'm sticking to it. I do not go back. I do use a left mouse every now and then when I'm editing and things, just kind of lessen carpal tunnel on one hand, balance things out a little bit. But yes, sure. Do I want to use that as an excuse a little bit? Yeah, I'm playing. You guys just imagine, throw the mouse in your other hand and try to do that. It definitely, your aim is going to suffer for it. Even a year to almost, I'll be going on 2 years at some point here soon. It's just not as good as it could be, but that's no excuse, and there's nothing you can't train for. And luckily, I'm fairly lucky as far as accuracy goes, and as are a lot of things with Battlefield 3. The best way to get better is to just play, but you have to play with a little bit of focus. And it takes me back to my point. Everybody at some point should sit down, take summation of their gameplay, of their skill set, of what they're good at, what they're bad at. And, I like to identify one thing and just work on it. And that's why I said I play a ton of TDM. I do. And the reason for that is very simply, minute for minute, I get in the most gunfights I can. It's just, for me, it's very efficient use of my time. I understand it doesn't make the best YouTube videos. It's not even the best gameplay for me to play. I enjoy TDM, but still, I enjoy Rush much more. It's just, it's very hard to find good servers these days, and it's very hard to, just get the consistency of good gunfights that I need to actually focus and analyze what I do well there, what I do wrong there. and improve as I want to improve. So for me, minute for minute, pound for pound, TDM is where it's at when you're trying to work on something in your game. And, you know, if you're at where I'm at right now, you're always trying to work on your game, because not only do I have to get rust off, I really like to be at that next level for Battlefield 4, because I really plan to bring a ton of Battlefield content, talk about a lot of topics, and just generally just try to really dive into that game. And I feel like I don't want my gameplay holding me back. Again, I'm never going to be elite, but I want to be above average to a good player, and I think I can get there with some, you know, hard work and dedication in these things. So what I've been working on, clearly above everything else for me right now, I feel like my brain, you know, in my you know, my gunfights and things like that is good. I'm consistently outthinking people. I'm making pretty good decisions. Here you'll see me. I make some. I mean, over the weekend I made some just total brain farts where my brain just kind of locked up, and I just didn't know what to do. You run around the corner, you run into 5 guys that you should have known were there, probably, especially in TDM. Usually it really helps you with your map reading and knowing where to expect engagements. I wasn't doing that. I was kind of a little out of it, and I run into the corner, find 4 or 5 guys. I don't even try to shoot them. I just pull a grenade out and throw it at their feet, hoping I'll take some guys with me. But that's rust. That's just not being game sharp. Usually my tactics, my reaction times, my just, you know, strategy are on point, usually ahead of everybody else. I usually lean on that a lot to help me get to the top of the leaderboard. It's usually not my mechanics. It's not my gun skill that gets me to be, you know, MVP or anything like that. It's usually my brain. It's usually tactics, strategy, these types of things. But I don't want my aim to be holding me back anymore. So as you can see here, I'm using the L85. Now, sure, I think I had an assignment, which is one of the reasons why I thought about picking it up. And then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's grab the L85. It looks like I'm heavy barrel foregrip. I think it was pretty standard. I do change it around a little bit, just kind of experimenting with other things. And I focus on trying to get headshots, because I think that was one of the assignment things I had left. So I just figured it was a good little short-term goal. Try to finish that assignment, which was like 50 headshots. And that's what I did over the weekend. I pretty much used the L85 exclusively all weekend on any map, which was kind of frustrating, I'm not going to lie. This map worked pretty good. I don't tend to like Wake Island at all in any game mode, but for what I was trying to do, focus on headshots, using the L85, improving my accuracy, that type of thing, it worked really well, because most of the engagements, as you can see, are typically at least medium range. You'd get some longer sight lines, so it worked well. Other maps we played, I was really getting frustrated because I was getting a lot of very close engagements, and of course, you know, I was at quite a disadvantage to, you know, AEKs and things like that. But I am seeing improvement. It's hard to tell what is actual, you know, organic improvement and what's just me getting some of the rust off. But this is what I do, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about this today. You know, I feel like if you're a serious player and you want to improve your game, you need to at least, I would say, like once a month, just sit down. And that's where YouTube really helps, I think, anybody. But in my case, it really helps me. I sit down and I put myself out there in front of everybody. So my comment section, I don't even have to rewatch my videos. I just have to read my comment section. And usually my ugliest, you know, plays and things like that are going to be told to me very, very directly, and I can go back and then watch it like, wow, he's right, you know, wow, I got to chill out with the panic reloading, these types of things. So it's very good for me if you're interested in getting better. So, like, how do you guys do it? Like, what do you guys do to identify where you're weak? And then, more importantly, and as a help out to me, what do you do to help that? What do you do to improve in these areas? How do you focus on single elements of your gameplay to improve them? I.e., like I said, hip firing. It might be, you know, clearing corners and movement and anything in my skill set, my aiming, my accuracy. So how would you guys go? How do you guys do it for yourself? And hey, give me some advice if you guys have had the same idea with accuracy and things. I did go burst weapons. I was using the KH-2002 a lot over the week. That helps a lot, you know, controlling your fire, bursting, that type of thing. So I do that as well. I've found that to be really pretty beneficial. So thanks a lot for listening, guys. I always appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Talk to you soon.